Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, officially done going to Chelsea. I'm a Liverpool fan, and that hurts me to my core. Not necessarily even getting the players, just being in for them and getting trounced by a 12th place Chelsea kind of stings, not going to lie. But where does Liverpool go from here? How does Liverpool proceed in the market? They need to get a defensive midfielder. That is the most obvious part of the whole kind of equation at Liverpool at the moment. And I'm going to go through the knowledge that we have at the moment based on the deals with both Caicedo and Lavia and look at the alternatives to both players. Hi, everyone. I'm Sideline Sedo. Welcome to my channel. I cover all things Premier League, mostly Liverpool, but other teams as well, and just general football stuff. So stay tuned for all your latest football updates, transfer news updates, and just kind of news as the season progresses. But Moises Caicedo, we got the official here we go, the mark of death in a way for Liverpool's hopes to sign Caicedo. And I'm not gonna lie, I've said this on my channel already a couple times, said it live as well. Caicedo at 110, 111 mil, the bid that Liverpool sent in, was too much. That's an overpay. Caicedo at 100, is, in my opinion, is an overpay. Caicedo is like honestly at top value, like 70 to 80 mil true value. So we'll see how this works for Chelsea, but it was clear that both sides needed a defensive mid in the game. Both sides lacked the ability to kind of win balls at moments. And with Chelsea, it's just going to be kind of interesting because now they have the two most expensive, well, not two, yeah, two most expensive midfielders of all time, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, Enzo's 107 mil. So 107, 115. But how does Liverpool proceed? Yeah. So Liverpool, Dave Ockop, a fairly reliable kind of Liverpool in the know journalist and such, he went on a bit of a posting spree, and he started basically with the fact that Moises Caicedo is confirmed to go to Chelsea until 2031, by the way. Quick math, that's an 8-year contract. They also have an option to extend Caicedo by a year, so it could be a 9-year contract, which is absolutely bonkers. But based on that news and the fact that Chelsea is also now set to sign Romeo Lavia, Akop went on to write, it comes across that Liverpool haven't been prepared for this window. Some may point out Fabinho and Henderson left unexpectedly. If both stayed, we needed quality midfielders this summer. We've needed a holding midfielder for 4 windows now, which is so true. You've been watching Liverpool close for the last several odd seasons, even while Fabinho was there was clearly a need for a backup to Fabinho at very least. And Bajcetic kind of came in spurts, but for the most part, it was players like Henderson, Thiago kind of moonlighting as the 6, and it never really worked. But, it shocked everyone, fans, and even Caicedo's team that Liverpool made a late bid. Very true. I think everyone was kind of caught up by that. Chelsea had the report build up. Yeah, he wanted to go to Chelsea. That was very obvious from, kind of the start of the window. That I thought that move was nailed on. I felt as if a lot of people had the common knowledge that effectively there would be a whole kind of process to get Caicedo to Stamford Bridge and to get him to Chelsea, but past that, it was just like formalities. You're just gonna basically go and buy him, and you're gonna figure out the bid. But in terms of everything else, that's like all set. But they were negotiating for a while, and Liverpool kind of stepped in. Yeah, but publicly missed out on Bellingham, Caicedo, and now Lavia. Also last summer, Chouameni, not good. Definitely not good. Very obvious that's not a good situation. But yeah, he continues to write, I still think there is hope. We know there's a substantial budget now to spend. Klopp speaking today actually came across as being reinvigorated. Give the man at least 2 quality players and let him do his thing. I think we need 3, but at least 2 could work maybe. But then this report comes out. ESPN report Liverpool interest in PSV defensive midfielder, who is one option. We'll continue with that article, but before we get to that article, I just want to read this quote from Jurgen Klopp. It says, I'm very positive. I'm not a magician. I have no clue where we will end up. In the end, we will have a good team. We already have a good team. When the transfer windows closes, we will have a good team. So I don't know. This person here writes, man, already sounds like he has accepted what he has, not looking promising at all. So there are some options. The defensive midfield market is kind of sparse, but there are a lot of people who have been linked to Liverpool in the past who were linked this summer. And there is that ESPN report that we will dive into, but I just kind of want to highlight some people. Joao Paulinho at the very top. I think he is somebody who Liverpool should really target. Fulham probably not going to let him go for cheap, and Fulham would probably play hardball, knowing that Liverpool has a slightly outrageous budget, at least for one player, in terms of like going in for Caicedo with 111 mil. I could totally see, Fulham being like, we want 50, 60. And I don't know if he's worth 50 to 60. He's a very good tackler, not the best passer to my knowledge, and is very slow, but is extremely strong. And at the end of the day, I mean, Liverpool does have, McAllister and Szoboszlai, who are a lot more energetic, faster, more agile, and also could put in shifts defensively somewhat, and could kind of break up play to an extent. There's also Cheikh Doucouré, who was quoted at 70 mil. Andre Trindade, player who might not move this window, will actually not even move this window because Fluminense, his team, has stated that they don't want him leaving this window. The earliest they would consider is January. So this is an option if Liverpool want to go for it. I don't know all that much about Andre Trindade, but I think his release clause or the fee and valued estimation for him to get that transfer done would be around 20 mil. So for 20 mil, I mean, he could be a good player, but it's a roll of the dice and you don't get him to January. So there's that. Sofiane Amrabat, somebody who is linked to Man United, linked to Atletico Madrid, some teams interested. 30 mil probably. I would love to see Sofiane Amrabat at Liverpool, but I don't know how realistic that is. Boubacar Kamara, he played okay. I'm not necessarily too moved by Boubacar Kamara, and he's at Villa, who is looking to kind of build. I don't think they're looking to sell right now. They're really building up for the season, so I doubt they let him go. Ibrahim Sangare, we will talk about this article very shortly, but he is another player who I've expressed in a couple of videos already that I would love to see at the club. I think Liverpool should have had this done months and months ago, especially since he's from PSV. He's playing there right now, and Cody Gakpo has that kind of connection with him. So I think it would honestly help kind of harmonize the squad to a certain extent. Having a player, who's familiar with another player, it would help the DM kind of, whoever we bring in, that is, but helping the defensive midfielder kind of get adjusted. It's similar to like bringing in Gakpo while you have Van Dijk there. They play together for the Netherlands, so it's easier for them to both kind of work together to kind of like integrate into the squad. But Sangare, similar concept based on, him and Cody Gakpo playing together at PSV. Kawadi Okone, Manu Kone, another player who was linked several times to Liverpool, and then the under 21 Euros happened. He got a knee injury, I believe, or something like that. I don't know if it was a knee injury, but it was an injury that had him kind of walk off in crutches, and talks for that kind of died. Florentino Luis, another player who would probably cost a lot, but I would also love to see Florentino Luis at Liverpool. Similar to Joao Paulinho, a slower player, but a proper destroyer at that. And then finally, Youssouf Fofana, who honestly, I believe he plays for, is that Monaco? He just confirmed that. Yeah, Monaco. But he, I honestly don't know too much about him. I don't watch too much Ligue 1. But if I had my pick of any of these players, if it was just one, I would go. If it was just one, I'd probably go with Cheikh Doucouré. He's younger than Paulinho. He's still a very versatile midfielder. He has that Premier League experience. He would probably cost a lot because Crystal Palace would not want to sell him. Plus, they're probably going to sell Elise to Chelsea, which, by the way, I don't know how Chelsea is able to just buy and buy and buy and buy, but they are. So we'll see how that all plays out, both from an execution perspective and from a financial regulation perspective. But if there was two players who I've been saying all window, Liverpool need two players, a DM and a more kind of forward player, I would probably sign Sangare And honestly, it's a toss-up between Sangare and Palhinha and Sangare and Amrabat. I'm not sure how Amrabat will translate to the Premier League. He is a little older, but I think he'd be a great player. But if we could get, honestly, Sangare, Amrabat, or Sangare, Palhinha, any number of these two players, besides maybe Andre, and I don't know too much about Fofana, so I can't speak to that. But Andre, just because of the fact that we won't get him till January. I would love to see him in the squad, but with Liverpool's current kind of setup, Liverpool also need a defender, in my mind. A left center back, somebody to rotate Virgil van Dijk, somebody to kind of put in for certain games that you could get a matchup, maybe even rotate Robertson out. At times, it's tough to say, but that's kind of my thought process of that. But ESPN reporting that Liverpool are interested in PSV defensive midfielder Ibrahim Sangare. Sangare is a player who I have watched closely over the summer, and he hasn't moved, and there hasn't been a lot of people kind of going out to buy him. But you look, and for a release clause of 35 million, I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand why the deal hasn't been done. I don't understand why Liverpool is looking elsewhere. I understand that, you would want like a transformative defensive midfielder, but Sangare is a player who I think would get a really good shift in. He would have probably helped Liverpool win today. No offense to Alexis McAllister. He played well today. He had a great debut, but he's not a 6. He's not a defensive mid. Sangare is. Alexis McAllister could play further forward, be more concerned about, orchestrating play. Sangare is not that bad of a passer either, but you need this type of player. I'm absolutely enthralled by the possible inclusion of him to the squad in the future, or signing him, or getting him in would be fantastic. That'd be a step in the right direction, especially for that price. And if you're looking at Liverpool's current budget, 111 mil, let's say it is, because that's what they bid for Caicedo. Who knows if Liverpool were going to go and get another player, because Caicedo also played at fullback, and they could have made the argument, well, Caicedo will cover for Trent and yada yada. But regardless, Sangare, I think 35 mil is a very fair price for somebody like this. I don't know too much about his injury record, but I think he would just really help just by being there, by being a body who could play at defensive mid. Instead of having to play Gakpo at a center mid or attacking mid role, you could play Gakpo further forward. You could play him on the left, and he'd be really great there. Gakpo didn't really move me today too much because he was playing out of position, and Alexis McAllister also playing out of position looked great, but he would be even better if he was further forward. So as of right now, Liverpool is in a bit of a downward spiral in a weird way, not really getting any of their targets, not making too much progress on any moves. Where the heck is Jörg Schmadtke? All this stuff is just coalescing, and we are about 2 weeks away from transfer deadline day. I think it's a good 18 days, I believe, 18, 17 days. So Liverpool have to act, and they have to act quick, and they have to act now. So comment down below, who do you think Liverpool should sign? There's a lot of options here, but also anyone that you think is just available in the market that Liverpool could go in and place a bid for, because as of right now, this is getting really bad. And as a Liverpool fan, I just want to see them sign somebody. I don't even care at this point. Sign 2, 3 players who can rotate the squad. That is what you need. Obviously, get like your defensive mid, and we saw that there is a market for it. At least any number of those players could probably suit Klopp's preferences for a much lower price than either of Caicedo or Lavia. So those are my thoughts. Comment down below, let me know what you think, and like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for all your Liverpool, Premier League, and general football content needs here on the Sideline Sedo YouTube channel. I'm Sideline Sedo. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.